Guys, hello and welcome to another episode of Skill for You, the platform that brings all the necessary information and awareness regarding skill acquisition and vocational training, especially in Nigeria. My name is Patience, and it's always a delight to be here on the program. In previous episodes of Skill for You, we've brought you a diverse number of topics or areas of interest in case you are interested in learning a skill. Today, we'll be talking about another area that might interest a whole lot of young people. All right. And that's because already we all, whether young or old, we have one of the basic tools for this particular profession, which is your cell phone. All right, today on the program we'll be talking with a visual and event photographer. And he was also once an instructor at the Honey Treat Trade Academy, also in photography. And it's a pleasure to welcome to the program today, Mr. Victor Ayo Babalola to the program. Hi, Victor. Or should I call you Vab?
Vab is fine.
Your initials. Vab is fine.
Yeah,
how are you doing
today?
My
brand name also.
Okay, that's your brand name. Oh, wow. So it's Vab Photography.
No, Vab Studios.
Vab Studios. Wow. Interesting. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So we're talking photography today on the program. And already I did mention that having a cell phone more or less makes you, whether an amateur photographer or even a professional one, depending on how you use it. Because we all take selfies, don't we?
Yeah,
we take pictures on our phones and all of that. But to begin the conversation properly, maybe we'll start from the nitty-gritty of it, which is trying to define so we can understand exactly what photography really is all about. So, what is photography?
Thank you. I think over the years, a lot of persons have actually come up with different definitions of photography. Mm-hmm. And over my course of training people, a lot of persons have actually given their definition of what they thought photography is.
From their own understanding.
From their own understanding. Okay. So I think I always like when people give their own definition of photography from their own understanding, because there is no actually perfect definition for photography. We understand that photography is about light, using light to write something, capturing light, using light to record emotion or something. So it all goes around that part. But basically, I think photography is the act and science of using light to record motions.
The art.
Yeah, the act.
And science of using light to record motion.
To record motion. Because the act is what everybody sees.
Yeah.
That's the picture that comes out, the fine art, everybody likes it. But I have science background, so I'm more also interested in the science. The science is where we get to ask the question, the what, why, and where. So photography is the act and science of using light to record motion. I love the act part of photography. That is what most people see.
True.
And I think that is what we are concerned about as photographers, how the pictures come out. But because I have a science background, so I also have a little bit of interest in the science that is involved in the photography. That is the what, the how, the why of how these things are happening. And I think that is the work of the camera manufacturers. So they get to tell us how we use light to record motion. That is the implementation of equipment like photography gears, like the digital cameras, the phone, and every other thing. So the process of using light, how the aperture and everything opens up, then to the end product of having a very good portrait or picture. That process is the science involved in photography. But the art is what everybody sees and appreciates. The art is what we say.
That's the result.
Yeah, so that's the result. So studying photography, a little bit of the science is fine, but majorly understand how the art also works, because that's what people will pay for. as a photographer, not as a camera manufacturer.
Wow.
So that's just my little definition of photography, the art and science of using light to record motion.
Wow. As simple as you have kept it is also quite also deep, because we just take it for granted that you just pick up a phone, just take a snap or a shot and voila. But there's actually a whole lot that goes on in those little seconds, few seconds, before the click of that button. All right, good to know. All right, so you mentioned you do have a science background. And I do know that having a science background initially, it's not because you were a photographer first, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about that a bit. All right. So how what you were doing before and how you moved from that into photography.
Okay, I think that would make me to talk a little bit about my background in photography.
Okay. Yes, please.
I think my story, a lot of people have different story for why they do photography, but mine is a little bit funny and also has a little bit of consistency in it. So from when I was very much younger, I loved the idea of taking pictures. Not me, but standing in front of a camera and being snapped.
As a model?
Yeah, from the little birthdays that our parents would arrange for us, then, the cake and the family. Yesterday I was looking for a particular book in my house. Then I saw this book that has stashes of all the pictures we took back then. So I actually eat them in the middle of books. So that I can just keep them for memory's sake. And I was looking at them yesterday and I was just really enjoying. And funny how I could remember those moments as if I wanted to relive them. They were just coming back to me as flashbacks. So that's just the wonderful photography. So all of those days are when I've actually loved the idea of photography.
So you were always, even as a child, fascinated,
even though I didn't know what photography really was, but I just loved that.
Wow.
And that's why I think I still have all of those pictures, even in my head and even in my book, in the pages of my book at home. And moving forward, also when I was still very much young, I think someone in my church then just noticed my interest in photography. Then he told me, I have a camera. Someone sent it to me from abroad, but I don't use it. I don't know what it was. Maybe you should just take it and go and use it. The person gave me my first camera.
Oh.
It was an analog camera.
Okay.
Those ones that uses film.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was my first camera. I got it and I really explored with it. I bought films. I saved up money. I bought films and I would take pictures. But the funny thing is, because I didn't really know how it worked, I didn't go for the training. I just learned few things. After taking each pictures, I would bring out the film and look at
expose it to sunlight,
just to see the shadows and everything. I really loved that. And there was a time I felt that I've taken enough pictures and I needed to print them. So I just packed the films and took them to the lab. And when I got there, I said, I want to print pictures. They said, okay, where's the camera? I said, which camera? I have the films here. I just got them out. They're like, you're not supposed to expose this thing. It's spoiled.
So they were all damaged?
All damaged. I felt so bad that I couldn't use them. I kept those films for a very long time, even though I don't know where they are today. And I took that camera with me to when I got to university. Though when I got to university, a little bit changed. I didn't do much of photography in school. I went into another part, that stage lighting and events in university. I was working with a lighting company. That's what I did through my university until when I got back to NYSC. So NYSC was...
But what did you study?
I studied biochemistry.
Biochemistry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think my course was also one of the reasons why I didn't do much of photography, because it was a whole lot.
Yeah.
Having to do a little bit of, because what we did was like a basic to entering medicine. I had the plan of also going back to school. I had the plan of also going back to school to enter medicine fully, because I really wanted medicine. Just because I didn't get the admission for medicine, so I opted in for biochemistry.
Second choice.
Yeah, with the thought that maybe in 200 level, I could just switch. Well, biochemistry was a whole lot already, so I didn't even think of switching to medicine any longer. So that's how I graduated with biochemistry.
All right, so you did the whole 5 years?
5.5.
Of biochemistry?
Minus ASUSTRI.
Okay, you did all of that, graduated as a biochemist,
yes.
Then came out. And how did photography come into the picture again?
During my NYSC, I was posted to Abia State. Then I joined the side class. So there's this skill and acquisition training in camp. It's just a 7-day training, but it brought back the old interest again. And from there, that was the first time I handled my first digital camera.
Okay.
They gave us in camp. The instructor, Sake, gave us, and after that, we did training. In the class, there were a lot of persons that were professional photographers. They came to just while away time, and they were there. They were even trying to teach the instructor. And I was just there learning because I really wanted to know all of these things. And after the 7 days, we did a side competition, and they represented their platoons. I represented my platoon, and I came first.
Wow.
I don't know. So it was just a whole lot of, I was so calm. I knew what I was doing, and I went for it. And my picture came out the best.
Wow.
And I felt like I could really take this thing forward. I summoned the courage. I went to the state coordinator, and I asked her, Mrs. Bonafasaki, that's my mommy till today. I just asked her that I have interest in learning this thing, and I've secured a place to learn. Can you please post me to this area so I can learn? And she appreciated my interest in skill and acquisition, and she said she'll see what the organization can do about it. And I was posted to that area. So it gave me opportunity to learn photography the more.
On the job.
On the job.
Wow.
And my PPA was so flexible. I was going to class once a week, Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. because I lectured in School of Nursing. I was teaching them nutritional biochemistry.
Okay.
So at that time, so I had the time to do
so much.
So that's why I went back into photography. I registered for a 6-month training with Sati. Sati was, as at then, the personal photographer to the Deputy Governor of Abia State. So he was either in the studio or in the government house.
Okay.
So it was a lot of, and he was also documenting events. So I used the opportunity. I traveled the whole Eastern States, shooting events with him, documenting weddings. And that's how the love just came back. And from there, I just picked it up.
Wow. It's been such an interesting journey.
It is actually.
And here we are today.
And here
all right. What started like, of passion of a little boy has grown into what it is today. All right. So along the way, I know there must have been some challenges, some things that made you look back and maybe perhaps rethink the decision, to move away from your major into an area that was driven by passion and all of that. So do you want to relieve some of those challenges you've had till date?
I think one of it then was the uncertainty of what the future would look like.
As a photographer?
Yes, as a photographer. Going fully into photography. Because with my certificate, I could still get a job, sit at a table 9 to 5, get my pay at the end of the month, and be very well good in living the normal life.
Yeah, be stable.
Be stable.
I think that's the word. Yeah.
Be stable. I appreciate those that do it, but I think I tried it at some point, and within the space of 6 months, I had to move through 5 different departments in the organization. Because,
why?
After the first month, I get used to it. It becomes a routine, 9 to 5, and I get bored. And the next decision would have been either I get transferred to other departments or I resign, because I can't. I think that's why I love photography. Photography is the only thing I've done in years that I've not been able to exhaust. The creativity, the idea, it's just the energy is just so much that I can't just exhaust it. So starting out, I think the fear was the uncertainty in becoming a full photographer. Because I also wanted to look for something that will that I can fend for myself, and also
I can put food on the table, pay your bills.
And also to get to a stage, you have to raise a family, something that can also do that. But then I think I just looked beyond what was in front of me at that particular time, and I looked into the future of those that were already in their own future, those that started photography in years and they were already doing it. I felt like, if these people can actually do something like this, it's achievable. And I studied, I kept on studying, and I just made a decision that I think photography is it. And other challenges would be getting equipment. Then there were no luxury of knowledge that you could actually do a lot with your phone.
Like we have now.
Like we have now. So then phone photography was something we didn't have much knowledge about. So it was either you get a camera or you are not in the business. So the equipment was also a thing. But my NYSC time also helped me. I saved up some money, and because I was posted to Ministry of Health. So aside the 19.8 NYSC was paying, Ministry of Health was also paying, I think, 29,000.
Okay.
So I was able to save money. I bought my first camera a week before my personal.
Wow.
And I took it back to state coordinator's office. And I think she was the first person I took with my camera.
Wow.
Because I told her, she gave me the opportunity to pursue this. And I brought back the camera. She was so happy when she saw me. She remembered me. I didn't believe she would remember me. Yeah, so the challenges, they are so numerous. And I think they are diverse, depending on different people's backgrounds and the way they approach photography. So my challenge might be different from other person's challenge, but I think it's not something anybody cannot overcome.
It's not insurmountable.
Yeah,
it's not something you can deal with. Okay.
Really
all right. So now let's come back to the purpose of all of this conversation we're having, because people watching out there, will be wondering, okay, so here I am. I'm trying to make this decision of whether or not to pursue photography, because we are preaching the gospel of learning skill. And photography is one of such skills you could actually learn. How would you advise a young person, taking it from how you have come up to this point where you are? How would you advise a young person out there who's watching, who might have maybe an interest in photography? What would you say to that person, encouraging them to actually pursue it or not? And for the young people today, one major factor with them is they want to be sure that they can make money, from whatever skill they are learning. So maybe you want to tie all of that into one, advising them on how they can approach photography as a skill, and also how it can improve their lives and also make them a better person.
All right, thank you. Like you said, or like I said earlier, that a lot of people go into photography for different reasons. Some go into photography because they have passion for it, because they want to create magic, because they want to impact life, because they want to be part of something special. For me, as a wedding photographer and a portrait photographer, I love when I get feedbacks from people of how I'm able to help them relive their experiences of past events.
Okay.
This is really something that I can tag as achievement at some point for me. So a lot of persons have different reasons. Some persons' reason might be because they want to make money from photography, which is also a thing. And some persons might be interested in the skill itself, while some might be interested in the money it can put in their pocket, which is whichever way, they are both valid reasons to go into photography.
Okay.
But one thing I would say is anyone that have interest already in going into photography, just do it. Just go into photography.
Just do it.
Just do it. I mean, there's no number of encouragement you can get from people. If you're not encouraged yourself to do it, the encouragements will just be waste. So just do it. Start something. There's a lot of courses out there that you can learn from. YouTube is a friend for everybody. Just do it. And for those that are thinking if photography will be able to put food on their table, have you really studied people like Bedge, people like Big H? Those guys are people like Chojokoro, people like C3, people like Red Magic. I'm actually calling people in the wedding industry.
Big names.
Those guys are doing wonderfully well for themselves. And it's just this photography. So my advice would be for those that want to take photography as a skill and learning, just doing. There's a lot to explore, ranging from how you get to impact people, how you get to be part of people's life and experience it. Sometimes, because portrait photography is something when you help people to bring out the uniqueness in self and document that is something that when they get, they give you feedbacks that are just mind-blowing sometimes. You think it's just taking pictures, but it's more than just taking pictures.
Actually, more than that.
It's really more. Taking, for example, portrait sections, for example, it's just something that when you experience, when you try to document someone the way they are, help them to bring out their real self and document it that way, it gives them the idea of their real self. Most times, some people, they are shy in every aspect of their life, but when it comes to as a photographer, if you're able to help them bring out their real self, even if it's just for a 1 hour section, that is a section they will not forget in a
long time.
So that's just it. So photography is highly profitable. Let me say it that way. To those that are thinking if they should go into it, there is a lot getting equipment, but thank God for the phone era that we are in now. There's a lot you can do, and there are different types of photography you can venture into. Necessarily,
thank you. I was going to come to that next.
Yeah, so it necessarily doesn't have to be portrait or.
So can you run us quickly through some of the areas?
Okay. Like myself, I'm a portrait and event photographer. I major in portrait and weddings.
Okay.
So that is one part. There's studio photography where you shoot a lot, commercial photography, walk-ins.
Your regular photo shoots, maternity shoots, okay.
Those portraits too, they are there. Then we have wildlife.
Okay.
We have sports. We have products. And a lot of people take good pictures already.
Very good pictures.
So you can just look for a way to monetize it. A lot. I remember the story of this young corps member sometimes ago, some years back, that took, I think in your state, took a picture of one old man with the drum.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I remember that story.
That young man.
It actually went viral. Yes, it did.
I think he sold that picture in NFT. And he made a lot of money. And
I was so happy he came back and remembered the old man.
Yeah.
Yes.
The man is late now.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but I read his tributes to the man when he mentioned how the man's story became the origin of his own success story.
Imagine.
And he was appreciating because that single picture changed
his life.
Own life.
Exactly.
And also changed
I
that
remember
man's
that
life.
one.
That's what photography can just do for you. So that's diverse ways that one can actually also make money.
All right, Victor, we're going to take a break and come back and talk a little bit more. Okay, if you're watching, it's still Skill for You. And today we're looking into photography as a skill option for you out there in case you have a passion in that line. We'll take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Yes, we're back. Thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Skill for You, and I still have Victor Ayobabalola with me on the show. We're still talking photography. So far, Victor, the talk has been so interesting. And what I like the most is the fact that every time you talk about photography, I like the way your face lights up. There's always a smile on your face. And that tells me that you really, truly enjoy, what you do. So very quickly, I know that you have also contributed your own quota, to actually also giving a part of your own knowledge to the younger generation. You were once an instructor with the Honey Tree Trade Academy, and I want you to quickly, in a very few minutes, just relive that experience, how it was like, really impacting young people in an area that likewise changed your own life.
Okay. I think I've actually done a little bit more than that. Immediately I passed out from Nysc. I went back into the system and became a side instructor for photography. Just almost immediately.
That's so cool.
And I think during my time, I trained over close to 500 club members before I left Abia State in photography, of which some of them are still working with me till today.
Nice.
Some of them that are in Lagos. I still have 2 of them that work with me from time to time.
That's
in fact,
good.
before this show started, one of them was sending me something I told him to do. So he just sent it back to me. So I still have them.
Wow.
I'll do
nice.
it better.
That's so cool. All right, quickly on the last note, give or take, how long or what's the shortest time in which someone can actually learn how to take a good picture? Give or take.
There's no defined time frame. I've had classes that I taught for 1 week and they became good. At least they have I think the basic thing is just to have the fundamental. As little as the fundamental is, if you understand exposure triangle, you can do very well. I've had a class that I just did, a master class, 1-day master class. And what I taught them was just exposure triangle. And they started taking good pictures from that very day. All they needed to do was just build on that knowledge.
Build on that.
So once you understand the fundamental, it might, depending on the instructor or the time frame for the calendars of learning, it might be a day, 1 week, 6 months, you're good to go.
All right, so it's between a day and forever,
depending
on you as a person.
A day and forever.
Wow, interesting. All right, for me, this has been very interesting. I don't know about you, because I recall every time I go through, an old album, when I visit my father, and then I go through old albums of when we were young, I always have this nostalgic feeling, seeing myself as a kid, seeing my siblings too, everybody's all grown now and all of that. My uncles, my aunts, it's
aren't you so happy that those pictures were taken?
Yes.
That's how I feel most
importantly, people need to understand that photography can and has also saved humanity over the years, all right? Because there are some stories in history that were lost in terms of not being recorded in proper film, because technology hadn't, developed to this point at that time. But then pictures, told some of those stories to some of us that were not born that time. A lot of the wars that took place in the 18th century, 19th century, what a lot of us saw were pictures. There were really no videos. Even the Nigerian Civil War. Most of the stories from that war were told in pictures, because I recall I saw more of pictures of malnourished children, children that were so hungry that you could count the ribs on their, pictures.
I saw those too. I went to Ojukwu Bunker during my stay in Abia State.
Those pictures,
a full war,
just told all the story of the war that we needed to. So pictures are very powerful, very, very powerful. What you're doing is you're documentary your memory, or a memory of a thing that took place in history. And people who do that, photographers such as yourself, can only be referred to as great people. Thank you so much, Victor.
Thank you
for coming on the show today. I appreciate your time, and I wish you well in your future endeavors. And I hope you continue to impact your knowledge on the younger generation.
Of course.
Thank you again. All right, our guest on the show today has been Victor Ayo Babalola of Verb Studios. All right, he is a visual and event photographer. He's also an instructor in photography, and he does so many other things in that line. If you're a young person out there and maybe you just like taking pictures, taking selfies on your phone, or just taking pictures of nature around you, or any other thing, whatever it is, maybe you should take it a notch further and actually make a living from that, all right, because it is possible. But then the gospel we're preaching on this program is the fact that in today's current reality, having a university degree is not enough anymore. You must have hands-on knowledge of something, have a skill. All right, whatever your interest in is, pursue it and learn it properly, and it might just be a lifesaver. Thank you for watching the show today. My name is Still Patience, and I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget, this program is brought to you courtesy of the HTA Media Production, and would love to do business with you. All of our contacts and social media pages are on the screen as we speak. Hope you come in and do business with us. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.